going to show you how to take the COCOON 2000 and break it down to make it basically a more lighter box to carry, or if you got to put it in an attic or whatever the case is. But let's show you how to break it down and put it back together very simply and quick. Okay, if you have to break your unit down, you might as well label your wires. I mean, they're already labeled on the terminal block. The terminal blocks there are labeled one, but I'm going to go ahead and split these two chambers down, and what we're going to do is remove these 4 screws here, these screws on this back panel, and this screw, these 4 screws here, and then label these wires according to S1, S2, S3, S4, or the corresponding number. And so that the way when you go to put it back, as soon as you go to put the system back together, then everything goes back right the way that it should. You're going to do this if you're putting them into an attic, or if you just want to save your back and not carry a 200-pound furnace and carry basically a 55 to 70-pound box. So one other thing I was going to show you is the bracket that's on the back here that ties the back side of the furnace together. You want to remove this bracket as well. All right, there we have it. Now I'm going to show you what to do with the wiring. Once you have all the metal brackets removed that hold the chambers together, now we're going to show you what to do with the wiring. So, pretty simple. On top of the COCOON controller, you're going to basically have this one wire. Anything that goes from this chamber to this chamber, you're going to remove. This control voltage and this control voltage here that lead up to our thermo discs. The other thing that can help quite a bit is just take a picture of it before you take it apart, and then look at your picture when you go to put it back together. When you go to remove this control wire, you'll notice that it is you're going to need a small screwdriver to remove that. You could remove the plug, however, you're still connected to the terminal blocks and whatnot. So you're better off just to go ahead and remove this one wire. Now that that's finished, we can divert our attention over here to basically the other side of the control voltage. It's coming down to our contactors. We'll remove it off of our contactors and then tackle the element wires. Now that those are removed, we can tackle the element wires. And if you're curious on how to remove the wires out of the terminal blocks, we have another video on that, and I would definitely recommend looking at that video. It goes into much more detail on how to really use the terminal blocks without damaging them. So you're going to insert the screwdriver into the side and kind of push to the center of the terminal block. That then releases the spring and you can pull the wire right out. Once you have those wires out and you go to put them back in, you want to make sure that your wires are twisted and that you get a good connection there. It takes 250 pounds of pressure to remove, to pull the wire out of those terminal blocks. We have had a couple of times where if you do not make sure, like if you only get a couple of pieces of wire in there, the gate that is on the terminal block that holds the wire in could shear it off. So you just want to look at that. Once you have all your wires pulled out of the terminal block, as you can see here, the best thing to do is just kind of take them, kind of tuck them up in here like this, and then stick the door on, and you're ready to remove the chamber where you need to.